A16, turn me up.
And just like that, we're back. Views from Section 400 from the new spot. I'm Jack, myself, Matt, along for the ride, uninterrupted sports conversation here for the entire show. So stick around. Action-packed episode. We got NFL free agency, which has been wild. Surprised Brian has his Giants gear on after the just absolute mayhem that's gone on. Michael of the week we'll get into real quick here soon. And college basketball. We're into conference tournament week. It's championship week, as they like to say it. Joe Lunardi is puffing his chest. But our bracketology's been a little better. So go check that out over on viewsfromsection400.com. Let's get right into it with the Michael of the week. Brian, you can just get it out there off your chest early. I know you're pretty pissed off, or maybe you're not. Maybe you're just so done with the Giants because they've been irrelevant for the last however many years. But yeah, Michael of the week, for those of you who don't know, something that's just absolutely ridiculous or surprised you, shocking, appalling that happened in the sports week.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from the Giants for now because I have a feeling yours is going to be Giant related. By the way, the hat is from 2007. So this was the last time I really had fun as a Giants fan. I know 2011 was fun, but this little time period. So that's why the hat's on. My Michael of the week is going to be Robert F. Kennedy is apparently running on the independent ticket for the presidential election. And his top choice for his vice president is none other than New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Now, I don't know how that works. Like if he somehow wins, I mean, it is March, so I guess the underdog story is in full effect. But if RFK somehow wins and there's a national emergency on a Sunday at 1:00, his VP is going to be on the football field.
You've heard of player coaches, but have you ever heard of presidential coaches?
A player president?
A player president? I mean, it's nuts. Look, it kind of makes sense. Those two are in the same sort of mindset, the same sort of category when it comes to, relevant people, celebrities, whatever you want to call them, politicians, if you want to loop Aaron Rodgers in that category. But I kind of see that, especially with the way that Aaron Rodgers came out against COVID and his stance on all that, how he was very public and the ayahuasca trips, all that. So, he's not shy to speak his mind. That's for dang sure. We've seen it on McAfee and Rogan, and it makes sense to me.
That's the one thing too that I was kind of like, wow, because he's a conspiracy theorist, Rodgers. Like everything is a conspiracy. So you would think he would have said something at some point about the Kennedy family and all their like wild assassinations or something to make them hate him, but I guess not.
Well, it's because the Kennedys were trying to uproot everything that Rodgers is trying to uproot. They're on the same side here. The conspiracy theorists are working together here.
I guess you got a point.
On the independent ticket.
Illuminati confirmed there. But
that's another Poland 0% right there. RFK and Rodgers 0% chance to win the presidency of United States of America.
I won't argue with that at all.
It's 0%.
I'm going to back you there.
Yeah, but the very last thing, shout out to RFK because he is announcing his decision on March 26th, which is a Tuesday, not during March Madness. So unlike Rob Manfred, he understands the sports calendar.
Good for him.
Well, that's one win he'll get. My Michael of the week is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas in general has got a lot going on right now. They just submitted those plans for the new A's stadium that's going to be taking place. Only 33,000 seats, which I feel like is a little small for baseball. But, Las Vegas, the A's have never had the best record with attendance. So I guess it kind of makes sense. But let's not talk about the A's. I want to talk about the Raiders and the moves that they are making. They signed Christian Wilkins, massive deal, giving him $110 million over the next 4 years. A lot of money. With Christian Wilkins and Max Crosby on that defensive line, they're going to cause absolute problems for every team that they play this year. Probably going to be the best way to get to Patrick Mahomes. So I like the move there. But how about Gardner Minshew at quarterback? They think they just signed him to a 2-year, $25 million deal. It's not the Kirk Cousins money, but at the same time, it's not a small contract. I know it's only 2 years. They're not too invested in him, but $25 million is no small change. He's going to be their starter. You think that he has a shot to lead this Raiders team to a AFC West divisional title over someone like Patrick Mahomes?
No, but
It's
he has
another
a shot.
0% shot.
I wouldn't say 0. I think RFK's 0 is a little more of a 0 than Gardner Minshew's 0. But I will say Gardner Minshew in Vegas. I mean, that's the perfect aesthetic for him. This man's gonna be in the mink coats, and he's gonna have a good season. He's gonna be the starter. He's gonna have a good season. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes is still in that division.
How does Devontae Adams feel about all this?
I haven't seen anything out of him or Jacoby Myers. I haven't seen any news from them about it. I'm sure Devontae tweeted something, so maybe we should pull that up.
I was gonna say no news is probably good news from him. I feel like he only tweets when he's angry.
I don't know how he would be pleased with the prospect of Gardner Minshew being the starting quarterback and wasting another year of Adams' career.
Gardner Minshew is gonna get him the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Is it going to be accurate, though?
Enough. I think Minshew will take more chances than Garoppolo did, or Aiden O'Connell.
He will, but how much better? We saw pretty much most of a full year of Gardner Minshew throwing to Michael Pittman. I mean, obviously, probably people are going to lean Adams over Pittman, but is there really that much of a fall off between the two?
Oh, they're different. I think you get Adams the ball, he makes a play, where Pittman's more, it's like run a route, murk his guy, and then catch the ball.
I don't think there's that much of a fall off. I really don't.
I think at this point in their careers, Devontae still has a decently significant edge over Pittman.
Really?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I still think Pittman is a top 15, 20 receiver, but Devontae is still top 5 area.
Adams has been good with bums at quarterback. And I mean, Gardner Minshew isn't exactly Patrick Mahomes, but he's not a bum.
No, and I mean, look, he's the one who made Michael Pittman look great last year after a very disappointing year the year before with Matt Ryan. And I mean, obviously you can put that on Matt Ryan, but Gardner Minshew stepping in there made Pittman, another 1,000-yard receiver year, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah, had a lot of catches too, so he definitely got him the ball.
And over on the receptions, did you well this year, didn't it, man?
Oh, hammered every week. That was a hammer. Hit pretty easily, but yeah, I mean, maybe I guess I'm a little clouded with that good year from Pittman. Maybe not as great of a year for Adams, but yes, Adams clearly better receiver. I just don't know how much better we'll see now with Gardner Minshew. I don't know. I just feel like you guys are hyping up Gardner Minshew a little too much here. I mean, one of the questions you asked was if he can beat out Patrick Mahomes for the AFC West title.
Well, that was crazy.
I think it's nuts.
That was a little crazy. But I mean, I think he could be a wild card. Minshew in Las Vegas, I think he gets
he was a wild card for the Colts, or they were very close.
Yeah, that stupid ass play call where they threw it to the third string running back.
Yeah, they were that one play away. That Zach Moss, or was it not even Zach Moss?
It's like BJ Goodson or something.
Either way, they were right there in a wild card spot. But I mean, we ragged on the AFC South being a horrific division. No offense, Jack. The AFC West, a lot better competition than the AFC South is. So that also played into the Colts having a shot.
I don't think that's fair to say. I think the AFC South had 3 teams competing in the last week to make the playoffs.
Yeah, because they were bad.
I mean, there's 3 teams that were sitting right there at 500, if not over
500.
Okay, but then you're going to the AFC West and you got 1 team.
Well, yeah, but this year you're going to have the Chargers are going to be good with Harbaugh.
Oh, yeah? Well, they weren't last year.
They're still going to be dog shit.
How are you going to call their division more competitive than my division when my division had more wins than their division?
Well, we're talking about 2024. We're not talking about 2023. We're living in the future here. Like Gardner Minshew is going to be at the craps table in Vegas. We're in the future.
Right now, me and you, AFC South has more wins this season than the AFC West.
So I'm taking the West?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's tough because the AFC
we got to
South...
think the Titans. The Titans will.
The Broncos are going to win 1 game.
Well, here you are talking the West is so much better than the South, Brian.
Well,
Put
yeah,
your money where your mouth is.
you know what? You want to do this? The AFC West will have more playoff teams than the AFC South.
I bet.
All right.
Bet.
So yeah, you're essentially could have the Texans and the Jags, and AFC West would be the
The Chargers or the Raiders.
Chiefs are a lock, and then yeah, if the Chargers and the Raiders make it, so it's close.
They're all going to get to play the Broncos twice.
They
So
are.
that's 2 free wins for those other 2.
They are. I don't know. It's more of just like no team in the AFC South has to go against the best quarterback in the NFL twice, where Gardner Minshew is going to have to do it twice.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point I was trying to get at, which is, again, we'll see. We'll see. But moving on, I guess I got to get in my Michael of the week, and it's nuts one. I didn't see it coming. Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. We talked about it in the last show. I was half joking. Brian threw out a crazy, he's going to boycott week 1 of the NFL. That's how confident he was that was just not happening. I thought Saquon was going to the Texans. Made a lot of sense for that to happen and them to easily be able to pay him what he wanted just based on them not having a lot of guys under huge contracts. But yeah, Saquon to the Eagles absolutely shocked me. Very happy with the move. I don't love paying running backs, but look, there's a huge salary cap increase. I still think people and GMs don't even realize how much of an increase it was, but Howie Roseman does. Based on last year, I feel like this contract's equivalent to paying Saquon like 7, 8, or 9 million a year, just based on the increase and what the money you have available, which is very, very good deal to get arguably the best or a top 3 running back in football. Let's hope he stays healthy. I know people say, oh, he got hurt at Jet Life and the Jet Life field sucks and this, that, and the third. But apparently all his injuries came when he was playing on natural grass and he didn't get hurt at home at Jet Life. So Eagles play on natural grass. So something to look out for there. I know a lot of people like to say, because, oh, it's our injuries up there at Jet Life. Don't get me wrong. But apparently Saquon's injuries didn't happen there. But that's the Michael of the week. That definitely shocked me. You got the other guy's Michael of the week. Always going to catch it here on Views from Section 400. And obviously, I just dove into a little bit of NFL, a little bit of Saquon talk, which is nuts. Still, I don't think it's really hit me yet. Like seeing Saquon in an Eagles jersey, like doesn't even seem right to me. I can't imagine being a Giants fan. Brian, if you just want to get into it, I know it's sad boy hours, man. What's your? All we got was two huff and puffs on a TikTok video. We didn't get a full Brian on what the heck happened, man. I mean, the Giants, they never offered him a contract.
Nope. They never offered him a contract. I did write a blog. Go check that out on viewsfromsection400.com. And I'll repeat what I said in that blog. If you're a New York Giants fan and you are mad at Saquon Barkley, go jump off a bridge. This is the team's fault. This is John Mara and Dave Gettleman's fault. The Eagles paid him for 3 years. He's 27. Running backs fall off normally at age 30. So why in the fuck would you not give Saquon Barkley a 3-year deal? And then, to make it even worse, listen, I know Brian Burns is a great player. You're going to give Brian Burns, who's like, he's a good player. He's a very good player. You give him 5 years, $150 million, right after, not even like 2 hours after you said fuck you to the whole fan base and let Saquon Barkley go. And then you go ahead and sign Devin Singletary in the same day. Like, give it a day. No one is going out there to sign Devin Singletary that quickly. It's nonsense. I don't know what the Giants are doing. They're the new Mets. The Mets, at least, like, they make me mad, but I have faith that they're competent up there. The Giants, it's just a bunch of clowns sitting in the front office just throwing darts at a wall and saying, hey, this is the move we're going to make. If you're a Giants fan, don't blame Saquon Barkley. Tiki Barber, you're a fucking clown. He went on there, he said Saquon's a traitor. Dude, Tiki, you gave up mid-season in 2006, went on television in 2007, called Eli Manning a clown, said he was never going to win anything, and then he won Super Bowl after you quit on him. So that shows your judge of character, so you can fuck off when talking about Saquon Barkley. He was a bigger Giant than you ever were. I can't take it. The Giants are just, like, I'm done. This season's a wash. I hope they draft a quarterback. I hope I get to watch Penix this year at least, because I mean Daniel Jones is probably going to tear his ACL tripping over himself again.
Well,
I really
that's what it is, right? The Giants picked Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley,
they
which
did.
you do want to pick the quarterback. I get that, but honestly, that weird season where the schedule was really bad, the Eagles benefited from it too. That's how they got to the Super Bowl. They did run through the playoffs as well, though. But the Giants had a very easy schedule as well that year, which I think was kind of hurt them because it made Daniel Jones look somewhat competent. They went to Minnesota, got a win, which even more was probably the worst thing that could have happened. And then they went into Philly and got blown out.
Yep.
But
And
that showed, Daniel Jones won a playoff game. Daniel Jones made the playoffs, led them here, led them there. They commit all the money to him. You see what happens the following year. He's horrible. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an NFL GM. I could close both eyes and still see that he should not be commanding that money. Should have never been drafted at 6 overall. I mean, Gettleman is just, I don't know how that guy still has a job.
Daniel Jones played well that season. He played well in that playoff game. I think he threw 2 touchdowns. But at the end of the day, when the game was on the line, the Giants ran 5 plays in the red zone. All 5 of them ended up in the hands of Saquon Barkley, and he ended up scoring a touchdown where a guy was riding on his back. He just squat pressed him, or I guess leg pressed him into the end zone, and that's how they won the game. Like, he was the offense. And I mean, at the end of the day, these athletes are people. He saw Daniel Jones get paid a bunch of money, and you're going to tell me if you're really good at your job and you see someone worse at your job and not as important to your company get paid above you, you're going to feel any sense of loyalty? No, you're going to go to the rival company and make them pay. And that's exactly what Saquon did. So I can't be mad at Saquon. I'm going to be mad at the Giants because they fucked me and they fucked the whole fan base.
Yeah, that's like AJ Brown, the Eagles not extending him and not even offering him a contract and then him going to the Giants. Like, that's exactly what that is. And if the team didn't even offer him a contract, as a fan, you can be upset and pissed, but Giants fans should be pissed at the organization, not Saquon. Saquon's not your enemy here. He wanted to play for the Giants. The Giants didn't want him.
It's like the Eagles paying, I don't even know who's still there, Quez Watkins, like a 5-year, $100 million contract, and then refusing to pay AJ Brown, so he went to the Giants. It's just so dumb. Yeah, Giant fans, be mad at the Giants. Don't be mad at Saquon. I personally, I hope Saquon has a really good career. I hope he never wins a ring as long as he's on the Eagles. But I hope he plays really well, and I hope he torches the Giants next year twice because I want a better draft pick next year.
Brian, I'm gonna bring you back down to earth just so you don't shoot yourself later over this Giants general manager. But were they ever gonna pay him what he's getting from the Eagles? I mean, 37 mil is a lot for a running back over 3 years. I mean, what do they need him for? What are they?
He's their offense.
They don't have an offense. That you just said their receivers. Their quarterback is
Well, that's the thing.
Daniel Jones. Look, Devin Singletary, it doesn't even matter. Saquon had no room to run last year. Yeah, he can get in the red zone off of his pure, just absolute grit because that's who he is. But is that really what you want to be watching all season? Don't you want to get rid of him?
No. At some point, you got to throw winning out the window and just say, Saquon was the New York Giants. Keep him a Giant for life. Let the fans go to watch him. Sell his jerseys. Don't let him walk because you were incompetent and have buyer's remorse on Daniel Jones. I don't care about the wins and losses. I just want Saquon Barkley as a Giant.
Fair enough. Me as someone who hasn't won a Super Bowl, the only thing I care about is getting to that final goal. So
that's fair. Yeah, I guess the Super Bowl's in the back of my mind kind of helped. But it's been a while. That time's running out. It's been over a decade now, so.
Oh, yeah? Is that how long it's been?
Yeah, and the playoff win last year was a fluke, or 2 years ago.
Yeah, but that run was still fun, so it was nice having that.
It was fun, but
speaking of that playoff win that the Giants got against the Vikings, how about we talk about Kirk Bangs real quick? Kirk Cousins signing with the Atlanta Falcons. What do we think about that?
I mean, Kirk Cousins is another guy who is 0% to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was going to say, Matt and I talked about this after it happened. And Matt was very, very high on Kirk Cousins not ever winning a Super Bowl.
It's
So I
just
guess
not going to
very
happen.
low on Kirk Cousins. I don't know. That Atlanta team's good.
New coach, new system. They got a lot of young offensive talent. You're bringing in Papa Kirk to, command the ship. They have a high draft pick too. I believe it's number 8 overall. Should be really interesting to see what they do with that. I'm with you though, Matt. 1-3 or 1-4 in his playoff appearances. I just don't think that Kirk is a guy who's going to be able to get it done. And I just think it's hilarious how everyone's touting him as this high level playmaking quarterback that's super desirable and commands a high contract. And then he has one playoff win in his career versus, and this might be a hot take, but versus Russell Wilson, who has a Super Bowl ring. Nobody wants him. He's undesirable. He's not going to do shit in Pittsburgh. I think that's an interesting way that the media is viewing Russell Wilson versus Kirk Cousins. I think that they're both washed.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is he's a legalized bank robber. He's getting all this money from different organizations, and he's just going to be your typical like average quarterback who will get paid. He'll win some games, he'll lose some games, but he's never going to be the clutch guy. He's never going to win the big one. And the Falcons, they went out and they signed Darnell Mooney to a 3-year, almost $40 million deal. So that's the help they're putting around Kirk. Is Darnell Mooney going to lead him to the Super Bowl on Kirk Cousins' back? I don't think so.
I mean,
he's the number 4 option.
I think
3 years, $39 million for your number 4.
I think
they have Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson.
That's a lot of money for your 4th option.
You guys are, yes, Kirk Cousins deserves a lot of criticism, but I think you're forgetting how bad the state of NFL quarterbacks is right now. Like, Kirk Cousins is a good option to have in today's NFL. We were watching Davis Mills last year. We were watching Jaron Hall last year. Like, the landscape of the NFL quarterbacks, and granted, apparently this draft class is going to be the next best thing of all time. But, I mean, the NFL's in a bad spot in quarterback play, and Kirk Cousins provides you with kind of that consistent, yeah, he's not going to be great, but he's not going to be bad.
I use last year as a outlier year. That was just like exceptionally bad quarterback play. So many injuries. I think it'll be a little better this upcoming year. But last year was
last year is what we have to go off on.
I know, I understand that, but there was a lot of injuries. I think we'll see quarterbacks be healthier this year, and it won't be as bad. I think that was just an outlier, weird year where it was horrific play across the league. Sure, in terms of an option, yeah, he's better than Desmond Ridder. So yeah. Sure. He's going to give him a shot. I mean, they're going to have to rely on the defense, but he's going to give him a shot. We'll see if Kyle Pitts is the real deal or not now that he has somebody who can at least get him the ball.
And if he can pass DeRon Bland in career touchdowns.
All right, let me ask you a question. Way too early prediction. Who wins the NFC South? Is it the reigning champs, the Bucs with Baker Mayfield, or is it going to be Kirk Cousins and the Falcons?
Another division that's not great. It won't be the Panthers. Bucs will have a shot. Speaking of the Bucs, I mean, they just re-signed Baker Mayfield. He's happy they got a deal done to 3 years, $100 million. Could be up to 115. So he just has, the gridiron to look forward to and workouts and getting better. The money and financial side's taken care of. But I would lean the Bucs. I mean, they still have most of their pieces. I know they lost, was it a linebacker they just got stripped of?
They're losing a couple guys on their defense.
Traded to Auburn, guys.
I would still lean. To answer the question and keep it short, I would still lean the Bucs to win that division. Look, it's a shitty division. The Falcons could win it. But look, we just saw Kirk Cousins play in a shitty division. I get it, he got hurt, but I mean, the Vikings didn't really do much in that division. That the Bears sucked. I mean, I guess the Lions were good, but other than that, that division was not great.
Falcons are going to go 12-5.
They had 2 playoff teams. Packers made the playoff.
Yeah, the North was good. The Bears played well at the end of the year. The Packers made the playoffs, and the Lions were in the mix for a 1 seed all year.
The Lions were good, and the Packers came on strong at the end. The Vikings were not good. The Bears were not good. I mean, stop it. They played well.
At the end of the year, they went like 6-1.
Yeah, the Bears turned it on at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Their
and where
defense
did they go?
pretty
And
insane.
what did they do with it? I'm not sold on the Bears. They could go whatever they want. I'm not sold on them. But who I am sold on is the Philadelphia Eagles after all the moves that they made. Saquon in. Bryce Huff, as a rotational piece for the Jets last year, had 10 sacks. Shoot, not barely on the field, but he was on the field enough, and he generated 10 sacks, but he was a rotational guy. Huge signing. Obviously, CJ Gardner-Johnson comes back, apologizes to the fans on Twitter, which I don't even need the apology. I appreciate it. It's a nice gesture, but I don't need it. I know we're insufferable, bro. But that's because we care. That's because we want to win. No other fan base is like this fan base. We care. We want to win. We will cheer the loudest and we'll boo the loudest. But when you're getting paid all this money, go out and perform. And even if you're shitty, but you're going out there showing the effort, showing that you care, that's all we care about. And I get it. We can be insufferable, but it's because we care a lot. We care a lot. We're not, one of these nonsense franchises where people don't care. If that's who you want to go play for Vegas. Go play for the Chargers. Perfect example. Play for one of those franchises where the teams, the fan bases don't care as much.
Hey, that one lady cared. The Monday Night Football.
Yeah, industry plant lady. Howie Roseman, he understands how the new salary cap works because he's been dialing it up. He even extended Jake Elliott $6 million a year. Ties Justin Tucker's record for highest paid kicker. But honestly, pretty worth it, man. Jake Elliott's been a top 3 kicker, maybe even up there with the best, maybe the best if you want to argue it. There's no reason to argue it, though, because it's a fucking kicker. But he's been lights out. He's been Mr. Consistent, and he's made a lot of big kicks, long-range kicks for the Eagles. People don't realize how important kickers are, especially late in the year when you have those big games.
Well, we saw it in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. So Howie Roseman, he's been cooking. He's back. Just the start of the offseason, and he's already addressed needs on the defense. They just signed a guard. Who was it? Matt Hennessy from the Falcons. I don't know anything about him, but they got him on a 1-year deal. I think he played games last year, so good depth start. He'll probably start this year, for being honest. Which, I mean, he started last year, so how bad can he be?
I mean, yeah, they need to shore up that interior line with Kelsey gone. So. Decent move there.
Cam Jurgens will slide it over to center. You'll have Landon Dickerson, who they just extended as well, who's very good. New guard will come in, Hennessy, who should be solid. You still got Mailata, and you still got Lane Johnson. I mean, Kelsey, losing Kelsey, yeah, captain, leader of men, that whole thing, definitely going to hurt in the locker room. But I think people are overhyping the Eagles just absolutely collapsing. Their O-line is still going to be really fucking good, especially with Saquon Barkley running the ball.
Dude, they got Pro Bowlers at every position. Their offense should be elite once again.
Yeah. What do you got to combat that, Brian?
I don't have much. I can't really argue.
And by the way, you want to talk about give it Darnell Mooney 3 years, $40 million? Eagles gave Devontae Parker. Now that's a true fourth option. 1 year, $1.2 million. So I like that move over giving Darnell Mooney $40 million.
Devontae Parker.
He might not even make the team.
I don't think either of them move the needle for your team really at all.
No, but one of them you're getting for $1.2 million, the other you're getting for $40 million.
Those are 2 16th round fantasy draft picks right there. Maybe Parker might not even get drafted this year. I'm not excited for this football season, just like I wasn't excited about last football season. I guess I'll tune in for college football more than I will the NFL this year. I can't tune in for NFL Week 1. That's cool. I put a poll up on YouTube and apple picking one, so it looks like I'm going apple picking during the Sunday of NFL Week 1.
I mean, the Eagles are creating separation immediately. The Cowboys have made 0 moves.
Yeah, especially after it's even funnier that Jerry Jones was like, we're going all in. 0 moves.
No moves. Even the Commanders are making moves. They went out, got Zach Ertz. They got Bobby Wagner.
Austin
Who I
Eckler.
Austin
Austin
Eckler.
Eckler.
It was funny. They were like, it was like Commanders sign star linebacker Bobby Wagner. Does he still generate the star tag? Is he still a star? I mean, he played all last year. He had 3 sacks.
I think
Yeah,
he's.
I mean, he's always
He's a leader.
never been a sack guy. He's always been the tackle leader.
Is he still a star linebacker at age 33?
I think he's earned it. He has
Yeah,
like
that's-
the grandfathered in star tag for the rest of his career.
Because yeah, that's the headline. Commanders signed star linebacker Bobby Wagner. I don't know. Playing all year, getting 3 sacks doesn't do it for me. But
yeah, they did make quite a few moves. Bobby Wagner, Jeremy Chin at safety. I've always been a big fan of his game. They picked up my Jags kicker, Brandon McManus. You know, guess Joey Sly's getting the slide. Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz. I guess Logan Thomas is out in the waivers. Someone's got to pick him up, but might be the end of his career.
He probably got a concussion walking around in his kitchen. But I'm
fresh.
surprised Joey Sly lasted that long in the NFL. Wait, he looks like you ever see the college game days, like when they have the kicker with Pat McAfee, he tries to make it and it's like 25 grand. That's what Joey Sly looks like. Like he does not look like he's an NFL kicker when he kicks the ball. He like toes it and it could go wherever the fuck he wants to kick it. But yeah, Brandon McManus could take it on there.
Is that way too early prediction? Eagles NFC East confirmed, considering there's been no repeat winner.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Cowboys were last year, right?
Yeah, so no repeat winner. The
Yeah.
Eagles are just dominant in free agency so far, still with the draft to go. It's lock in your future bet, boys.
I was gonna say, what have the Cowboys done other than
they made 0 moves?
Pollard.
Yeah, they lost
made
Tony
0
Pollard.
moves. They've made 0 moves. They lost Pollard. That's all they've done. They still got Prescott and they got CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. That's their big 3.
I'm looking at it right now. They re-signed an interior defensive lineman and they re-signed their long snapper. Nice moves.
They have so many guys there that they're just loyal to. And I mean, most of the roster's pretty good, but I can't really think, besides running back. But you're not going to upgrade from Dak. The receiving core is fine, I guess. The line
They
is
reworked, I think, who's it? Zach Martin still there?
Yeah, they reworked
I think they reworked his deal to create some, but like, dude, hot take, Cowboys under 500 next year.
Well,
there's potential, especially with the coaching switch up.
You also got to think, like we did with the AFC West, the Giants might win 1 game. So that's 2 free wins.
And the Commanders could sneak out a win.
They're going to have Drake May or Jaden Daniels back there. They could do something.
I think the Commander, is it a hot take to say the Commanders will be better than the Cowboys next year? Or are we just being like delusional at this point?
That's probably a little delusional.
Well, yeah, it might be a little delusional. It depends on, I don't think that Jaden Daniels or Drake May are going to be able to come into any of these teams and turn them into a playoff team. Someone that could beat out the Eagles for sure. So, no, I think it's safe to say, or the Cowboys. I really don't think that Dak's going to let that happen. I know he's not great, but I don't think he's going to let that happen.
I mean, they'll be competitive, but it's just the way it's been going since last repeat winner was way back when, 2004, when it was the Eagles. But all signs point to the Eagles winning the division in the way too early predictions. Building that same kind of type style team where it's like, oh my gosh, they're so good. And then just another headline breaks and they get another player like, dude, CJ Gardner-Johnson, like I was already happy. Like, I was already cool. And then he goes out and addresses a position of need. Love it. Howie Roseman's cooking. Best GM in football. Anybody can debate that with me in the comments. You can't. Best GM in football.
Yeah, I need Jalen Hurts to come out and call him a dream team. That's, I think, the only thing that could stop him right now.
They learned their lesson. They're not doing that.
Yeah, we need a Dalton Connect. Ring the
worst part about that whole dream team thing is it was the freaking backup quarterback, Vince Young, who called them the dream team. The backup quarterback called them the dream team. I think they won 4 games.
What an era. Oh, that was great.
Namdi Asmawal, what a joke.
There hasn't been much great news coming out of Jacksonville in free agency. We're letting Calvin Ridley walk, which I kind of want to happen. I didn't really want to have to re-sign him and lose an even better pick, but he's gone, and instead we've brought in Gabe Davis and Devin Duvernay. Not thrilled about that, guys. Really, really not thrilled about that, especially because Ridley's going over to Tennessee and he's going to be paired up with DeAndre Hopkins. That's going to be a nightmare for us to see twice a year, even without Derrick Henry behind the backfield anymore. I'm still just not going to look forward to seeing those two alphas on the outside. Other than that, we've made a couple moves, beef up our offensive line, which has been really important. Signed a couple DBs, veteran DBs, some old heads like Darnell Savage and Ronald Darby. I like the veteran presence, but those guys aren't going to give you too much on the field at their age at this point. It's not looking great. I really hope this draft changes that for me.
Yeah, apparently Will Lutz agreed with you because he went to sign with Jacksonville and then said, fuck that, and re-signed with the Broncos.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they had a deal in place and he was like, nah, fuck it.
I mean, Will Lutz was kind of a bum last year. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he wasn't great, and
he was kicking in Denver, which is one of those places that helps you with the altitude. So screw you, Will Lutz. I don't even want you here anyway. You're not a friend of the program.
You got a lot of speed. Okay, I'll give you that with Duvernay and Gabe Davis. Maybe not a lot of hands, but a lot of speed.
Is not the worst thing in the world. It's a good alternate to what we have. Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram are those possession guys anyway. Zay Jones, don't forget about Zay. Those three guys are possession guys anyway. So I'm not really, hating that move per se. I like the Gabe Davis move a little bit for that vertical reason. But Devin Duvernay, what have you done? I'm just really not excited about him.
Well, who's the punt returner you guys have now, or like the gadget?
Jamal Agnew.
Yeah, he's just a worse Agnew. I don't really understand that at all.
Dude, he's not a real receiver. I mean,
neither is Duvernay. He only returns punts.
No. He was a receiver for the Ravens.
He might have had 70 receiving yards last year.
I'm not going to call him Mark Andrews or Rashad Bateman, but
I don't know. I think I'd rather have Agnew. If I was starting an NFL franchise, I think I'd rather have Jamal Agnew than Devin Duvernay.
I think I would agree with you. Yeah.
Zay Jones primed for the breakout season after the domestic battery charges dropped. Heads clear, no court case looming. Breakout season on the cards.
I was thinking that.
Why you gotta bring it up, man? Why you even gotta bring that up?
Drop the charges, dude. That's a great thing. That's great for you guys. Breakout season is on the cards for Zay Jones. Doesn't have the distractions to think about now. I think you brought it up. Speaking of friends of the pod, our guy Jameis Winston going to the Browns.
Backing up Deshaun.
We'll be backing up Deshaun until Deshaun gets hurt.
Or gets a massage.
Or gets a massage. Either way, we should be able to see Jameis air it out.
Yeah, that could be a fun team for him. They have a defense that could bail him out if they just let him cook.
Just let him chuck it up, man. 4 TDs, 4 interception games. Gotta love it.
I need to see some Jameis this year. I'd take Deshaun Watson getting back to his old self, but if Deshaun Watson's still struggling, I want to see Jameis just chuck up.
And I think, there's obviously a lot of NFL free agency stuff we can get into. So to kind of save from just going on and on, the last thing I want to get your take on, Brian, is not only the Giants lose Saquon, they lost Xavier McKinney too.
Mm-hmm.
Instant reaction there.
It's the definition of insanity. This happened with Landon Collins. You had a great young Alabama safety, and you let him walk, and he was good for like 4 or 5 years, and then eventually he became a bum. But you let him walk in his prime, and now you have a good young Alabama safety, and you're letting him walk in his prime. I don't understand it. Like I said, they're getting drunk off scotch, and they're throwing darts, and they're saying, "All right, this is the move we're going to make."
Goes to a NFC rival in the Packers, so not the team you probably want him to go to, because the team you would obviously potentially have to go through. in any type of playoff run. But the Giants and the
They're
playoffs
not
should
getting
not
to
be
the
in any
playoffs.
type of sentence.
I don't think we'll have to see him in the playoffs anytime soon.
I don't think we will either. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I had for some NFL talk. Is there anything else you guys wanted to dive into?
So we talked about Kirk Cousins earlier. Sam Darnold's apparently going to be quarterbacking the Vikings now.
Yeah, why is Justin Jefferson not requested a trade yet?
They've got to be cooking something up, dude. There's no way that they're riding with Sam Darnold.
They could draft one of these quarterbacks, I guess. They also got Aaron Jones. So they are cooking up something weird over there in Minnesota. Also, the University of Minnesota has a mono clinic. Derrick Henry to the Ravens. Good spot for him, I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to stop him and Lamar. That speed and power option, that's gonna be pretty tough.
And probably the end of J.K. Dobbins. That guy just needs to retire, though. This might be a sign for him.
Guy gets hurt every year.
Yeah, I think he's tore his Achilles like 3 times.
Yeah, he's had a tough go at it.
Very last thing I have. The Colts have not learned their lesson, apparently. They just signed another veteran backup in Joe Flacco. So they continue to just shop the bargain bin.
Love the move. Love the move.
They got Anthony Richardson. Man is going to be a great quarterback. He's going to be healthy this year as long as he can stay healthy. I really do think that the Colts are going to win some games and put a lot of teams on notice. I mean, they were a playoff team last year, almost a playoff team last year. Lost their Week 17 game to get in against the Texans. You know, that was a winning game with Gardner Minshew. You know, if they have Anthony Richardson right there, could have been a totally different game. I think they're going to be fine. Joe Flacco's just there to be a backup. We know that he's not there to start all 17 games.
Yeah, as long as Richardson learns how to double tap X, I think that's how you do it in the new Madden. I've lost count, but as long as he learns how to slide, he'll be fine. And the very last thing I have on NFL free agency, Joe Mixon to the Texans. So they didn't get Saquon, but they got Joe. Which, I mean, CJ Stroud in that South, Jack, I don't know.
Look, man, the Texans are primed to make another run. They added Mixon, got Singletary out of there, shipped his ass to you, brought in Joe Mixon, and I'm not going to sit here and act like Joe Mixon is going to do that much to move the needle for them. He's a workhorse, which is what they're looking for. Good signing for them. They're a good team. I'm really more looking at what they do with their draft pick this year. The younger class is what I'm looking at.
Last one, since we were talking about the Commanders, what's his name? Klein and Farrell. Is he any good?
Oh, the Clemson kid?
Yeah, the Clemson guy who was on the high draft pick for the Raiders.
Yep.
Commanders signed him. I don't know how productive he's been in his NFL career, but another move. Commanders are active. Cowboys haven't done shit, and the Eagles obviously are bolstering the roster, and the Giants are.
Yeah, I guess you could say the Giants have improved. Well, improved is the wrong word, but attempted to improve more than the Cowboys have with Brian Burns.
Yeah, the Cowboys literally have done nothing but lose Pollard, and then I guess rework a couple deals and re-sign a couple or extend guys, whatever. But yeah, Eagles leader of the clubhouse in the NFC East so far to start off the league new year that hasn't even started yet. I guess when is that tomorrow that officially starts or today when you guys are watching this?
So when they're watching this, it will be the league new year.
The league new year starts. So there you go. And that's kind of NFL free agency up until this point.
Yep, I'm sad.
I'm happy.
You guys want to talk about the Bills at all?
Are they expanding their Buffalo statue to make it past North Dakota's?
No, dude, they blew up their entire team.
That too. Yeah.
Who did they blow up?
They released Jordan Poyer.
They got rid of White.
Tre'Davious White, Hyde, I believe, as well.
They also traded Ryan Bates, Philly guy. So I think he went to Chicago. Not that I don't think he even started, but just shout out Ryan Bates.
I think he used to start, and then I don't know if he started this year, but either way, yeah. Shout out him, Archbishop Wood legend.
But, so does this mean Hamlin's finally going to play?
No shot.
The door's open. He's not very good.
I think the last time we saw him was the fake punt that he ran like -1 yards in the playoffs.
But, last NFL thing, because we do got to move on to college basketball. Where do you guys think Justin Simmons signs?
I would fucking love for him to sign with my Jags, dude. Where do I think he's going? Hopefully he goes to a contender because he's an all-star, all-pro kind of player. So I would love to see him go to a team that actually has a good shot to do something. So yeah, my Jags. We need safety help.
Kansas City Chiefs.
I was thinking Chiefs as well. I could see a move in where they pair him up with Derwin James for the Chargers and have like a crazy Derwin James, Justin Simmons. I also got Asante Samuel Jr. and J.C. Jackson from.
They might have cut. I think they cut J.C. Jackson and
Did
then he
they cut
re-signed
him?
with the Pats. They have the young, or not the young, the small guy, Casey Hayward. Is he still around?
I don't know.
Are you
That
guys?
could,
I thought you said the Chiefs.
We're on the Chargers now. He was saying pair him with Derwin James.
yeah, I said I was thinking Chiefs, but then I said I also could see Harbaugh wanting to just bolster up the D-backs. That's kind of essentially been free agency. It's obviously been crazy. Why don't we talk about what everybody wants to hear? College basketball. It's March Madness. We're in the middle of championship week. The Power Five conferences are underway. Pretty sure my Big East bracket's still perfect. If you didn't see the TikTok, go check that out.
Did you have Xavier over Butler?
I had Xavier over Butler, and then I had
Then you should be
Providence
good.
over Georgetown. And last time I checked, before we started recording, Providence was up by like 10 or 12. So
Yeah, they're not losing to Georgetown.
Providence is up 11.
there we
Yeah,
go.
they'll be fine.
And Nova's at 9. So who's I guess Nova will play in a half hour. But yeah, that's a little bit of the Big East. A job opening I applied for. Louisville men's basketball coach is looking for a new head coach. I applied. Still waiting to hear back, but would be awesome to be the head coach there. That'd be pretty sick. So Louisville, when you guys watch it, I mean, come on, you guys fucking horrible this year. It can't be that much worse. Why not? Roll the dice. Roll the dice. Roll the dice. I'm like Tom Brady. I'd be the best decision your school ever makes. That's all I got to say on that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how your recruiting process would go, but
It'd go great.
I think you do a decent job.
I think I would
Can't
too.
be worse.
Can't be worse, dude. Can't be worse. I mean, they were losing to D2 schools. Take a shot. What's the worst that can happen? You just saw what was out there this year. Take a shot. But yeah, I guess Brian, what are we talking about here, dude? Do you want to do some bold predictions or what?
Because the next time we see these wonderful people, we will be talking about the March Madness bracket that just got released. So stay tuned for that live show on Sunday. But before it gets released, I just wanted to get some bold predictions from you guys. I have two. One, the people have probably already seen with our TikTok that got released on Wednesday, but the other one I'm ready to debut here. So, my bold prediction, there will be at least 3 12 seeds or higher that make their way into the Sweet 16 this season. And multiple double-digit seeds will make their way into the Elite Eight. 1 10 or higher seed will find their way into the Final Four. So there will be one Cinderella team that makes it to the and I say 10 or higher, I mean 11, 12, 13, or 14. One of those teams is going to find their way into the Final Four, and most likely the other 3 are going to be the 1 seeds.
Yeah, I got McNeese State to the Elite Eight.
All right. Will Wade's Cowboys. Hopefully they don't match up with Auburn first round.
Brian, I really want to know who that one team is going to be. So you have a prediction on who that's going to be? Any idea who you're gearing that up for?
For what? The double-digit seed that makes the Final Four?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give us a team, Brian.
Give us a team. Just
okay, I have a few, but it's gonna.
We'll still give you credit if the double-digit gets there, but at least throw us something here.
I have a few, but it depends on their draw. So Samford, I really, really like. They have this kid Achor, 6'9" forward from Australia, leads the SoCon in scoring. Also shoots at 45% from 3. 2 other kids that shoot over 40% from 3. So if they get the right draw, if they get Kentucky in the first round, that's Kentucky wants no part of that team. JMU is going to be a very popular one. I don't think they're going to make it past the first round just because everyone's going to pick them. But I really like Drake and I really like Samford, and a very sneaky one that's probably too gross to even say, but Akron with Enrique Freeman and Ali will probably be a 15 or a 14. But if they get a good draw, they can make something happen.
I mean, I know I said McNeese Elite Eight, but they could be the Final Four team. They're that good.
They could.
They're that good. And Will Wade, he's a guy who can fucking take them there.
Yeah. Yeah, them and Grand Canyon I really like. It's just they play in such shit conferences.
Yeah, but Grand Canyon, I don't think really played anybody before. Like, dude, McNeese was playing like decent schools and beating them.
Grand Canyon played a couple Mountain West schools. I also think they beat San Francisco.
I mean, McNeese, I'm pretty sure like blew out Michigan on the road, which I know Michigan was horrible this year, but still.
Yeah, that's a good win. There's a lot of good teams that can, and we've seen some upsets in conference tournament season, but for the most part, in the mid majors, the 1 seeds have been getting it done, which normally lends itself to some good day one upsets.
I think this year we'll get a lot of upsets.
Yeah.
A lot of upsets. This is going to be a nuts cut. I'll put it this way. I know they always do the perfect bracket challenge. There will not be a perfect bracket this year. I don't know if we'll ever get one. We probably won't, but this is the year that we definitely won't get one.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Princeton finishes and they win the Ivy League over Yale, because that'll be another possible 5-12 game.
Wasn't Princeton like top 25 at one point this year?
Yeah, they were.
Or they might have got a couple like bids to be there.
I think they were 19-0. They started out really well, and then they lost a few in the middle. But they've won 6 in a row now, so they should be fine.
They're back to playing hot.
It does scare me. The 2 seed in the Ivy League has won it the last 3 seasons, and Princeton's the 1, Yale's the 2. So history's not on Princeton's side, but go Tigers. Let's have a party at Hoagie Haven.
We'll see if they get it done. Jack, did you have a bold prediction you wanted to spew out there?
Yeah, I got 2 for you. I got 2. So I think there are going to be 2 1 seeds that meet each other in either the finals or the Final Four, depending on how the bracket shakes out, how they pair it up. I think it's going to be UConn, and I think it's going to be Houston. I think at some point they meet. Doesn't matter who's in their way, they're going to meet, and it's going to be either.
That's not bold. That's
I was going to say, dude.
Not bold.
Let me finish. Speaking of 1 seeds, there's going to be another 1 seed. That team is Purdue. They are going to lose first round again.
Oh, no.
That's more bold. I'll give you that. The first one, I'd be honest with you, was horrible.
Hey, Matt, eat my ass.
Dude, I will.
You want to know what's funny? Is it's not going to happen, right? What are the odds? And we can come back to this, and technically it is bold.
I guess. One of the other ones I was thinking about, so it's only happened once, of course, but the last time someone lost to a 16, they went and won the whole thing the next year. So if you have any faith in Purdue, keep that in the back of your pocket.
I have no faith in Purdue. They're frauds in March Madness. Frauds.
I have a lot of faith in Purdue, and I'm trying to temper
They lost to St. Peter's in the Elite Eight. They lost to Farley Dickinson the year after.
Yeah, they lost to North Texas when they were 3, and North Texas was a 14. And they have some Matt Painter in March is.
How's that guy still have a job?
Yeah, it's not great because he keeps winning the Big Ten in the regular season.
Right. Regular season heroes. That's how they are. Can't get it done in the postseason.
Let's see. Oh, Jack, I have some good news for you. 20 of the last 22 NCAA tournament champions have finished the regular season ranked top 25 in defensive efficiency in KenPom and top 40 in offensive efficiency in KenPom. Auburn, 13th in offensive, 6th in defensive right now. So they're on the list. They are joined by Purdue, UConn, Marquette, Houston, Arizona, Creighton, and Duke. So Auburn's on that short list.
Of all of those teams you said right there, and obviously the bracket's will dictate what I say right here. But of those teams you said right there, Houston, UConn, Arizona, and my Auburn Tigers. That's my Final Four.
Yeah, can we go around the horn with Final Four predictions?
Well, I mean, we got to
It's-
see the brackets for that.
Yeah, it's tough
I
without
guess.
seeing the bracket first, but yeah,
That is true.
that's who
That
I
is true.
would
Well-
put in out of that group.
We'll save the bracket.
I will
for the-
say, I think I'm gonna have to have UConn lose before the Final Four, just because everybody is going to have them in the Final Four. So just to zig when everyone zags.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's
Make
go.
them lose first round. If you really want to zig or zag that fucking hard, just make them lose first round.
Hey, if they play Rick Pitino and St. John's at some point, I will take St. John's to beat them.
To wrap up the show, let's go around the horn. Power 5 conferences. Who wins the conference tourney? And we'll check back next week and see how we did. Let's start with the Big East. I said it last night. I'm going with the Villanova Wildcats. They're going to face UConn in the final, and they're not losing to UConn 3 times in 1 year. Give me Villanova to win the Big East. Brian, who do you got?
St. John's Red Storm.
Give
Don't
me
hate
UConn.
it.
They
You
haven't
guys know
lost.
how big I am on them. Give me UConn.
Yeah, that's fair. St. John's hasn't lost since Rick Pitino called him lazy and slow. So
They have been red hot.
haven't lost.
And if Nova has to play St. John's in the final, Nova's winning that. I don't care. But Rick Pitino and St. John's has been red hot since he called them out. All right, let's go over to the Big 12. Brian, who do you got?
My boys, Baylor.
I'm going right back to what I just said. You know how big I am on this team, Houston.
Yeah, Houston's electric. I would pick Houston, but I'll go with the team that Joe Lenardi has hated all year. Give me TCU.
Ooh, I like that. They blew at Oklahoma today.
They did blow out Oklahoma, and they're starting to turn. All right, next conference, Pac-12. Arizona.
Yeah, before I answer this, Jack, when I make this graphic on Canva, I'm not even putting your face on it. I'm just going to put a little piece of chalk instead because you're that choppy right now. Pac-12, Colorado.
I'm going with Arizona.
I'm going Arizona.
All right. Is it a Power 5 conference?
Mountain West, yes.
Let's do the Mountain West.
I want to say Colorado State because of Isaiah Stevens, but I don't think so. I'm going to go with a bid stealer, and I'm sorry, Matt, because they might knock Villanova out if Villanova doesn't win the Big East. UNLV is going to win the Mountain West tournament.
I got Nevada.
That's a good pick. That was my one.
Give me my Boise Broncos. Boise State, Big Ten. Yep.
Our Twitter poll, the audience actually picked Indiana to win this. Indiana's playing really good basketball. I really like Illinois. I like Purdue more than a lot of people this year. I'm going to go off on a limb and go with Northwestern.
Don't hate that.
Bowie.
What?
Their best player is Bowie.
That's their point guard.
I love the
I
name.
thought you were just making noises.
Nah, it's literally the point guard's name.
Big Ten, give me Nebraska. Those corn-fed motherfuckers are winning this thing.
That's a good
Yeah, they've
pick,
been
too.
red hot, and that was going to be a sleeper pick. I would have given it out. A lot of people are going to be all over Purdue. And who was the other? Oh, Illinois. But to keep it interesting, team's been red hot down the stretch. And absolute cover gods, which, again, I guess you can lose and still cover. But
Michigan State.
give me the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
It's a good pick. Minnesota kind of needs it to get in, too.
And they've been electric down the stretch. All right. What are we missing? ACC and the SEC?
Yeah,
All right. We'll do the ACC first. I got Clemson.
Duke.
UNC.
Easy. SEC. Obviously, we know who you two are going with.
Or
Do you?
now.
What?
Do you? I might not pick Auburn.
Okay. Well, then who do you got then? Hot shot?
I'm going Auburn.
Who?
Auburn.
Okay. Jack, Auburn as well.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go with the Kentucky Wildcats.
If I wasn't biased, I would pick the Kentucky Wildcats.
If I wasn't biased, I would go with Tennessee.
Tennessee's
Is there one more fun one we can do before we hop off?
well,
How about the
I-
A10?
Oh yeah, A10.
Roll Spides. Shout out TJ.
I'm gonna go with VCU.
St. Joseph's. Give me St. Joe's.
Took Kentucky to overtime.
Yeah.
How about the AAC?
Oh yeah, we got to get Myers conference in there.
Yeah, Myers clearly has South Florida. I mean, that's a given.
I will be taking the FAULs. I'm sorry, Zach.
I'm riding with you, Brian. FAU, baby.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm a huge FAU guy, so had him in the Final Four or I guess I had him in my Elite Eight last year. Didn't quite take him to go to the Final Four, which I should have, but I didn't. Yeah, I'd hate to just pick FAU to pick FAU because you both did it, but I like FAU to win it. South Florida definitely has a shot, although it will be hard. Memphis playing really good basketball right now. I don't know if I can. Do I have to give out an official pick?
Yep, that's how this works.
I mean, I would go FAU.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Are there any other conferences that we could do? I think the final one we could do is the Metro Atlantic because there's
the
still
MAC or the MEAC.
It's MAAC, like the team that has like
the
Quinnipiac,
MAC.
Fairfield. It's like the extra MAC.
Toledo, Akron, them.
Yeah.
No,
that's the MAC. This is the MAC.
This is the Metro Atlantic. I'm gonna go with Quinnipiac.
I'm also going with Quinnipiac. We have them as our bracketology bid, so sticking with that.
Jack, if you don't know, go Fairfield.
I mean, look, you guys are picking all the chalk teams here, so give me the Marist Red Foxes.
All right.
All right. I mean, dude, Fairfield has like a very good shot at winning it. That's why I told you to go Fairfield.
Should we do the MAC?
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. Give me the Rider Bronx. They're on a 7-game win streak, man. Just fucking ride that momentum over Quinnipiac. I love it.
The actual MAC, last one. Brian, what? You got the Akron Zips?
Yeah, I got Akron with Ali and Enrique Freeman. Enrique Freeman's low-key one of the best college basketball players in the country right now.
Yeah, he is.
Give me the Ohio Bobcats.
I'll just take the best team. Give me Toledo. And as always, views from Section 400, action-packed episode. NFL free agency is obviously going nuts. Right in time, college basketball, March Madness is about to get nuts, and MLB opening day is just down the road here at the end of the month. You might miss it because March Madness will be on when first pitch for the opening day happens. So we can all thank Rob Manfred for that. You got our picks of the conference winners. Stay tuned. We're going to have a lot more March Madness, bracketology, the whole 9 yards when the official bracket drops. As always, I'm Matt, Brian, and Jack. Always along for the ride. I'll catch you on the next one.
Learn the name Tucker DeVries.
Brian's still salty that I was right about UNC.
That hasn't been proven yet.
The regular season's over, Brian.
Still a conference tournament.